As much as I endorse working out and being in shape and all that good stuff, which I'm still gonna do regardless, which I'm gonna do forevermore, okay, I will admit this and I will say this. A dude that has, or excuse me, that is average, an average guy that has charisma or charm or whatever you want to call it, is going to beat out a buff guy that's socially awkward every time. And why am I even saying this? Because a lot of guys just seem to think that you gotta be this super duper, an ultra handsome guy, and girls are just gonna swoon and they just gonna flock regardless of how your social skills are. Meaning, they're just gonna be so taken back of your looks and how buff you are, that even if you have not a modicum of social intelligence, that they're still gonna drop their draws for you, which is further from the truth. And this is some old internet ass shit. This is internet stuff that a lot of guys that are inexperienced with women might say, like, oh, you just have to be the super chiseled jawline guy, and let's even throw muscles in there, right? We can even throw muscles and physique and being buff and all that stuff in there. We could throw that in there, and I'll admit it twice on Sunday that a guy that's average, that has social skills, will beat out that guy that's super good looking, that is socially awkward, right? And it will, if you're out here, if you're actually out in the real world, you'll see this all the time. You will see this for yourself in the real world. And I'm gonna talk about it. This is Tarik Talks. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, so let's talk about it. The whole thing of obsessing over looks, obsessing over how good a man looks and all that good stuff, is actually quite feminine, okay? Actually quite feminine in nature, because yes, you do want to look good, you do want to look presentable, and like I'll say time and time again, make sure your physique is on point. You don't have to be a super bodybuilder, right? But to be honest, females, they, behind closed doors, they will mess with a guy that is average, simply because, and notice I said average, right? When I say average, I mean a guy that is, he's not no freaking super sloppy looking, just super out of shape or super duper skinny. He's an average guy. Like, he just looks like a man, right? He's masculine. He looks like a man. He's not super bad built. He's not super sloppy. He's not super duper dirty and stuff like that. Just an average guy. They will mess with these guys gladly. Why? Because the guy has social skills. Okay? The guy has social skills. He can interact with the women, and he can flow. And like, I had made a video before this entitled this type of man crushes it with women, and what I described was a guy that does have a physique, strong physique, and does, is physically attractive to some extent, but he has charisma. He has what you will call a charm, okay? And these average guys, this is what they have. They have that ability to just have normal conversations with women, and they have the ability to interact with them in such a way that creates sexual tension, right? AKA flirting, AKA teasing, stuff like that. And these types of guys, you'll see them, they get females, and these are dudes that, hell, are sometimes, as messed up to say as it is, because I despise male side pieces, right? I think that's some weak shit. You're pretty much a male side bitch, okay? But hey, look, it happens, right? It happens. Let's not even kid ourselves. Those be the main type of guys that are the side piece type of guys. Not saying that it's right, but I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying these are the type of guys that are it. And if you really just look around, like I said, on a simplistic just level, okay? On just a simplistic level, if you're out and about, look at guys who have kids. Look at guys who have kids. Almost 90% of them are just average guys. And before someone comes up with paternity, I almost said fraternity, like they're in a college fraternity, but no, paternity fraud. Before you say that, even that out the way. Not talking about that. I know that's a thing, but even then, it's average guys who have kids running around. Okay, now are there guys that are super attractive and just have physiques and all that? Yeah, of course they're gonna breed as well. Of course those type of guys have multiple baby mamas, right? But in that equation, okay, even with the guys who are super buff and tall and all that, they still have that gift of charisma. Okay, no matter how small it is, no matter how small it might be, they still have that ability to communicate with women. They still have that ability to connect, because that's what women do. If you really think about it, that's what women do. They talk, they connect on an emotional level, right? They talk and connect on the simplest, most basic level. That's what they do. They talk, they connect, and these guys, they know how to do that. And another thing with the average guy, okay, and a lot of dudes might say this is cope. Once again, I get a lot of dudes, you know, just throwing this out there. I get a lot of guys that don't have a profile picture or don't have any videos or nothing like that, commenting on my videos talking about it's cope. I know those dudes are incels, right? They have no experience with women. I could just tell, because what I'm saying is some shit that really happened and that I really saw. Okay, and these average dudes, the reason why women like them so much is because they're easy to talk to. Okay, they're easy to talk to. It's easy. Sometimes a dude that's really attractive, you gotta understand, females are very self-conscious, so they're not gonna be as open with the super attractive guy than they are with the average guy. It is what it is. Now, am I saying that if the super attractive guy comes up to her with you know, and they connect on that level, that she's not gonna go for him? Absolutely not. Of course she's gonna go for him, but even more so with the average guy, because he's cool, right? He's cool. He's not coming to her with the whole super duper attractive and all that. He's just a cool type of guy. And a lot of these dudes, these average dudes, right? Let's get to the nitty gritty. You know, they can satisfy women where it counts, you know, in the room. And I'm just keeping it straight up. These dudes know how to satisfy them. So a female will take a dude that's average but knows how to use what God gave him, knows how to use his tools. She'll take that over a guy that's 6'5" and 7 foot and all that good shit, but doesn't know how to work what he got, right? But don't know how to work what he got. He all muscular and blah blah blah, but he don't know how to put it down on her. Okay, a chick will take a guy that is average looking, doesn't really have too much of a muscle tone, doesn't really have, you know, anything that's gonna put him in like a TikTok e-boy category. She'll take him over a guy that doesn't know what he's doing in bed. Okay, and this happens quite often. You see, and a lot of times it be a beautiful chick too. It be a real bad chick getting with a dude that that doesn't look like he's gonna be on any type of magazine cover at any point. And even if you don't see him, and even if these chicks aren't seen with these type of guys out in public, best believe in private, you know what I'm saying? You best believe in private, he's doing something, okay? But with all that being said, like I said, if the guy has both elements, if he's super fit and physically attractive and he has that charisma, I mean, that's the type of guy you gotta watch out for, right? That's the type of guy that when he comes to a work environment or gym or whatever, he's gonna dominate the shit because he has the best of both worlds. But a lot of guys, you know, a lot of these guys that are buff and all that stuff, I got DMs from them 1 or 2 times. A lot of these tall guys, they're like, man, these chicks, you know, they don't want me and stuff like that. And the only denominator, the only thing that's going on is the social awkwardness. You know, their social skills aren't developed. Something is going on there socially to where females don't feel a connection, or they feel awkward, right? They feel real cringe. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.